What's going on, everyone? As always, he's Dave.
And he's Dave.
This is the Sports Rant, New York style. So this week, we're going to actually do what our title says we should be doing. This is going to be a true rant. So first off, we got to eat a bit of humble pie crow here, or however you want to put it, because New York Yankees just got spanked by the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
Not happy about it.
Yeah.
Aaron Boone absolutely fucked this up. Pardon my French. I'm trying to be clear.
Anyway, though. I don't think we're going to win anyway, but
hard to say.
Yeah,
but you go to game 3, you see Severino's having trouble. You get someone up in the bullpen. That's just plain and simple. Right. He did not do that. He sent Severino back out again and again. Granted, already gave up 3 runs and put himself in a situation where, at the end of the day, the game was lost.
Why was he even starting that game anyway? Don't we have anybody else that can pitch on the
Well, again, this is the problem with the Yankees this year. As much progress as they made at the trade deadline, they should have made a move for someone other than J.A. Happ. It should have been for someone like DeGrom. I don't care. Do what you got to do. Swallow your pride.
But
make a trade with the crosstown.
The Mets were going to get rid of DeGrom. For some reason, it was a pride thing.
Check pride. Check pride. Pride gets you nothing but losses. And at this point, there's no shot of the series. Okay?
What I'm to understand, they were looking for what's his name, Gleyber Torres for DeGrom, and I wasn't doing that. You know, why would you do that?
You got plenty of stuff in the farm system. You could have sent them Sheffield. You could have sent them Clint Frazier. There's a bevy of talent in that farm system, especially when you consider the Mets have no one in their farm system right now. And the simple fact that they're not willing to give DeGrom a contract extension.
It's crazy.
His own agent said contract extension or trade him. This is a man who, if you just look at his numbers, 1.7 ERA for the year, went 10-9 with the Mets.
He should win
He should win the Cy Young for the National League. There's absolutely not, and I'm far from a Mets fan. This being said, you look at the numbers. If the Mets averaged 3 runs a game, the man would have had 27 victories this year. 27 victories, 1.7 ERA. That's lower than Kershaw. That's lower than Scherzer. No question to be the Cy Young. Now, have the Yankees traded for him with a 1-2 punch of him and Severino? Now you got a shot. Now you got a true shot, because now you got a 1 and a 1A as your starters.
The Mets are haters. They hate the Yankees. So
and the Yankees hate the Mets. But at this point, at this time, if it benefits both teams in the long run, you make that trade. They didn't do it. The pitching is a question mark going forward. It's something they have to address in the offseason. But Aaron Boone relying too much on analytics and how this guy matches up against this guy, and he hits the rotation of the ball better than this guy. No, BS. You see a pitcher's got a problem, he's in trouble, you get him out of there as quickly as possible.
Come down to the gut from time to time.
Exactly.
And that's what he should have relied upon.
So that's it. End of story. Yankees are out, and at this point, it's going to be a toss-up between Boston and Houston.
But it's good for baseball.
It is good.
2 best teams.
They are. So at the end of the day, let's go Houston.
Let's go Houston. Let's go.
Possibly looking at a rematch of last year now, Houston and the Dodgers. Although seeing what Milwaukee did to Colorado, may not be ready to sleep on.
I'll go for Milwaukee. Let's go.
Yeah. Maybe some fresh faces in the World Series, but we'll see what happens over the next week. Now on to football.
We want to talk about first.
Odell
Beckham.
Odell Beckham Jr. The man got paid. Now, should we have thought this was going to stop? Nah. I was one thinking that maybe just a slight chance that he'd grow up and put this nonsense aside. No, he doesn't do it.
Raise your hand if you called it.
He called it.
Called it. So give him more money. Give him more money.
Now, here's the thing. If you're going to make this man the future of your franchise, which, all due respect with his talent, yes, he is #1 receiver in the league. You could put him there with the likes of Adam Jones, Antonio Brown. What's this new kid in New Orleans? Julio Brown. Sorry, Julio Jones. But at the end of the day, there's an unwritten rule. You do not openly trash your quarterback in public, and then to get someone like Lil Wayne involved.
The whole organization.
Okay? Whole organization. You saw it last week against the New Orleans Saints. He's having one of his tantrums, meltdowns on the sidelines. He claims it's to get the team riled up.
Yep.
It didn't work. And
What
at the
happens
end,
next week? Shepard is on the field doing the exact same nonsense.
thing. So that whole
wait till
attitude
he
is
gets
rubbing
Saquon
off.
Barkley on his whole ass team.
Now, let's just concentrate on one thing real quick, okay? That New Orleans Saints game, that was winnable, believe it or not. That was winnable, and at the end of the day, there was the fumble by Gallman and just drop passes by those receivers that wound up costing that game, okay? Now, Drew Brees did what Drew Brees does, and even though that defense held New Orleans for a good chunk of that game out of the end zone, you can't stop Drew Brees. And the fact that we just kept giving opportunity away.
Kamara's the one that got y'all.
Yeah.
He's the one that took the
Kamara and the new kid, the wide receiver, the rookie for New Orleans.
Thomas.
Oh my God, this kid's gonna be a beast. Watch, he's probably gonna be up there for Rookie of the Year.
Ironically, those two did nothing against us. It was everybody else.
Everybody else hurt the Redskins this past Sunday.
Yeah.
But getting back on the Giants situation, so they're bashing the quarterback again. Even though this past week Eli threw for over 300 yards, he's not the one that lost in that game. Ironically, the very man that's been bashing him, as well as the rest of the offensive coordinators or whatever, is the man who helped cost him the game. Okay, a bonehead play on special teams. Instead of trying to make sure that ball was either contained or went into the end zone, no, he tries to make a play on the Carolina Panthers special teams. Wound up getting the ball bouncing off his foot, live ball, tussle between Giants and Saints, goes into the end zone, recovered by the Saints. You know how that ended. And then, right after the impressive pass from Beckham to Barkley, which was impressive, considering this is not a man who throws the ball.
It was.
What happens in the very next play? The kicker roasts, he kicks it out of bounds, and then the Carolina Panthers get it on their own 40, put them in excellent position on the field, and they go and they add another 3 on the board going down.
But you guys got jerked though, because Christian McCaffrey didn't get that first down.
No.
And I couldn't believe that they didn't measure it. Or I know you can't challenge at that point, but you got to say something.
You gotta say something, but
something.
this is also officiating. Officiating just seems to be either non-existent or overbearing, depending on which game and who's playing. That one you had a little bit of both, because also that hitting a defensive player call that went against the Giants. I'm sorry, that's not hitting a defensive player. You got 3 players converging at the same time. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You know, it's no different than when Clay Matthews is trying to sack a quarterback, or anyone for that matter. The body in motion is going to stay in motion, okay? That can't be helped. That was a BS call. But now, also regarding the Giants, you have someone like Max Kellerman reigniting the conversation for Colin Kaepernick yesterday on his show First Take. And the Giants need to sign Colin Kaepernick.
Please do.
You know what?
Please sign him.
Cap, 2-3 years ago, absolutely, I'd agree with that. The man's been out of football now. He hasn't thrown a ball in almost 2 years. What do you want him to do? That's not going to help.
I think the Giants should sign Colin Kaepernick.
You think the Giants can sign? Okay.
The Giants sign Colin Kaepernick.
So, and what's going to happen when he goes?
He's going to lose.
He's going to lose.
You're going to keep losing.
Okay. So that's not going to happen. Okay. That's not going to happen. That's not going to help the situation.
No, it's not going to help the situation.
Now, moving on. Now, you also have Alan Hurns of the Dallas Cowboys doing something very similar. He's calling out Dak Prescott. He's calling out his offensive coordinator, Scotland. Thank you.
This is the same Scott Linehan was the offensive coordinator, but they were 13-3.
Thank you.
But they had a quarterback that can audible and see things for what they are. Dak Prescott is blind. He runs stupid plays into dumb coverages, you know. But I hope they re-sign Dak Prescott.
But let's also be honest here. When the ball's been thrown to Alan Hurns, has he actually caught it?
Not really.
Okay then. So Hurns, put up a shut up. All right. Now you also have someone like.
I want you to keep talking.
Oh, keep talking.
Keep talking.
Okay.
And I
So
hope
we
we get
keep
Zeke
talking.
involved in talking.
Zeke. Where's Zeke been? Okay, rushing the ball, he's fine. Passing, receiving? No, he ain't been there.
He's going out of bounds, coming in bounds, and catching the ball.
This was also supposed to be one of the best offensive lines coming into the league.
Well, they're sickly now.
They're sickly. Okay, all of a sudden they're all sick. Jason Garrett. has no business being a head coach in the NFL. He's proved that time and time again. Up until their miraculous run 2 seasons ago with the 2 rookies, the man was 500 in this league for 8+ years.
Him and Jay Gruden. They need to get out of here.
How are individuals like Jay Gruden and Jason Garrett still head coaches?
Idiot owners. Jay and Dan. I mean, Dan and Jerry.
Yeah.
Dan. You know.
2 owners that are past their time and need to sell the team. Okay? Because they don't know a damn thing about football. Marcus Peters in with the LA Rams. Marcus Peters is playing like Marcus Peters. And how does Marcus Peters play? Like Marcus Peters. Okay? According to him, Marcus Peters played Marcus Peters style.
Really?
Let's get one thing straight. You can't name a style after your name. Doesn't happen.
And you have to listen to Wade Phillips, one of the most successful defensive coordinators who's ever coached the game.
Last time I checked, Wade Phillips.
Why wouldn't you do what he tells you to do?
Wade Phillips ran one of the best defenses in this league a couple of years ago with the Denver Broncos. Am I not wrong? Correct in that? And do they not have a championship for that?
His history has shown.
Okay.
He has done his thing.
Always been a good defensive coordinator. Head coach, that's a whole other question. Defensive coordinator, one of the best of all time. Now, at the end of the day, you just have to fess up and say, I'm not playing well. Maybe I'm not as good as everybody made me out to be, because last year when you played against the Jets and you got toasted against the Jets, you were so fed up that you got a penalty flag. You took the penalty flag, you threw it into the stands. You wound up getting suspended. So
by the Jets.
The Jets. Now, is that Marcus Peters style? I don't know, because apparently we don't know what Marcus Peters style is. Just play the game and fess up when you're messing up. That's it.
He's a millennial. They never take blame.
He is a millennial, and unfortunately, this seems to be the course of athletes today. It's everyone else's fault but their own.
Deep and steep in sissydom.
What happened to the word team? I guess that went out the window too.
No such thing.
Okay, so speaking of team, Jimmy Butler with the Minnesota Timberwolves, or should we call them the Minnesota Bulls?
Before you get to that, shout out to Jay Gruden for picking Greg Minuski over Wade Phillips for defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Coach of the year, buddy.
Yeah. More proof.
Yes.
More proof.
Go ahead with Jimmy Butler.
Okay, Jimmy Butler with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Or like I was about to say, the Minnesota Bulls.
Correct.
Because Rose, Dang, Butler,
Thibodeau,
come on. And then there's rumors that Joakim Noah might land there.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
More proof why. Why the head coach should not also be the president of operations. Okay? Too much conflict there.
Definitely.
Sorry.
Unless your last name is Belichick, you shouldn't be part of that.
And even then, he sometimes gets superseded by the owner.
Right.
See Jimmy Garoppolo. Anyway, Jimmy Butler. Everybody's heard at this point. He went on a rant yesterday. Went on a rant, torn into his teammates after taking third stringers and embarrassing the first team of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Embarrassed.
Wow.
Okay? You're talking about Karl Anthony Towns, Taj Gibson, where not an all-star, but still one of the better defenders in the league. And took guys that shouldn't even be in the league. Justin Patton, Keita Bates Diop. Who are these people? I've never heard of them. These are the guys that are so far down at the end of the bench, they barely dress, okay? And he took the third string guys and beat the first stringers.
Well, you have first stringers with no heart like Andrew Wiggins, who gets on Twitter and starts going back and forth between him and his brother and Jimmy, all whining Butler, then, you know, that's what you get.
But again, this shows where we are with the millennial athlete. Everything has to play out in social media, which then goes into networks like ESPN, and everybody knows about the little intricacies, the little disagreements, the arguments, the in-house fighting. It should stay in-house. Jimmy Butler is not helping his case to either stay in Minnesota or get traded somewhere else. Because right now, Minnesota wants the farm for Jimmy Butler. It's going to be a Carmelo Anthony, Denver to New York situation where they're basically going to really take advantage of whatever team is willing to take Jimmy Butler. But now that new team has to worry. If our guys aren't playing up to Jimmy Butler's requirements, is he going to tear into them too?
What do you mean?
Is he going to tear into?
They know he's going to. They know he's going to.
Then you don't make this trade.
You can't make the trade. You're making yourself untradeable.
And now, at the end of the day, all Jimmy Butler is doing is hurting his stock as far as which teams are willing to bid for his services and pay this man when he's a free agent after this season.
And I have to doubt his commitment to winning, because he was only going to be willing to be traded to these people who have max dollars. If winning was your top priority, why isn't any trade open?
Exactly.
Why isn't any trade open? Why is the people that have to pay you $1 trillion per year?
Not to mention, when the issue of the contract extension came up, instead of taking a more balanced extension over 4 years to stay in Minnesota, no, he wanted a shorter contract similar to what Durant gets, that pays him max dollars over 2-3 years.
Right. So
then in a couple more years he can get out of there and get a max deal somewhere else.
Which I have no problem with athletes getting the paper, but don't tell me it's about winning. It's not. It's about the money you can get.
It's always about the money.
That's it. Kawhi. Oh, I want to win.
No.
You left the winning situation. You left the winning situation to get paid. I no problem, but don't lie to me and say it's about winning wins and putting my brand out there and all this other nonsense. What brand do you have, Kawhi? You don't say anything. When you laugh, it sounds like somebody's beating you with a bat in the face. You're ridiculous. Stop it.
I mean, look.
Stop listening to your dumbass uncle.
I don't like him as a player. I think he's a selfish player. But even Carmelo Anthony came out and said that winning a championship wasn't important to him. He got his money, but at least he was honest. I'm not in this for a championship.
Honest. And your play shows it.
It does show it, but at least he was honest about it. Now, people don't like that because people want their players to strive for a championship, especially a team like the Knicks. It's been so long, 1972, the last championship for them. You cannot do that in this league. You're paid to win, okay? Herm Edwards, you play to win the game. You're also paid to win the game.
Handsomely, I might add.
Handsomely. I mean, look, people like you, we could just dream for a payday like that, okay? Never gonna happen. Now, last time I spoke about Jabari Parker going to the Bulls. Now, it comes out that they're moving him to the bench because his play has been so horrible in these few preseason games. Bench player, 2 years, $40 million. And for those of you who have watched, I did put a notation on the last episode. The minimum cap space for the league is just over $91 million. So considering what they spent for him, and what Clint Capella got with the Houston Rockets, I would have preferred Capella at this point.
But all right. On the one hand, you were absolutely right. I gotta give you your props. You're absolutely right about that. But on the other hand, it's good that you're not letting money dictate who plays.
This
on
is
the
true.
bright side.
This is true.
But
this is also more proof why Foreman and Paxson need to go as GM. Because if this is the best player that you could sign in free agency, using your team's money, then you clearly have no idea what you're doing. I mean, hell, the Butler trade to Minnesota, look, it was going to happen. He wasn't going to stay in Chicago. But if you're going to send our first-round pick, and all we're getting back is a first-round pick, okay, we got Levine, we got Dunn, but those were big question marks at the time due to health concerns. I'm not giving up my first-round pick. You take Jimmy Butler, you give me your pick. You can keep Dunn, you can keep Levine, and just make sure that our future is set with 2 first-rounders that year. Whether it's marketing, whether it's whoever they want to pick, you got to load up for the future. Then you worry about free agency. Give free agents of the future a reason to want to come to your franchise. And I don't see that happening with the Chicago Bulls. And unfortunately, it's probably not going to happen with the New York Knicks. Time will tell.
I'll talk to you about that next week. That's the Knicks.
Okay.
I want to just lay it all down so I can, give it my all and just let Dolan know how much I wish he goes lion hunting and gets attacked by 17 million lions and hyenas.
Well, maybe just a few hyenas, but let's just finish up with this.
All right.
A couple weeks ago, we made a couple of predictions for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I picked KC and St. Louis. You picked St. Louis and the Patriots. So
Right.
since then, the Patriots have woken up. They've taken
As
the
they
lead
do.
taken over the lead in the AFC East. That's theirs to lose.
Never to be relinquished.
Okay, never to be relinquished as long as Tom Brady is quarterback in that team.
Right.
KC though keeps proving everyone wrong. Okay, Mahomes is ridiculous, and even last week with 2 picks, they still win the game. He still throws for over 300 yards.
It's crazy.
Okay, I think Pat Mahomes is showing everybody against the best defense in the league. Thank you. I think he's showing everyone he's the real deal. Okay. New Orleans. Drew Brees is still Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And that's a joke of a division right now.
Who? The NFC South?
NFC South. I don't see Carolina beating New Orleans for that division.
It could happen, man. Listen. Let's not get sidetracked here. The Redskins are 2-14 since 2008 on Monday Night Football. That wasn't a test. You can't.
That was a slaughter.
That was a slaughter. That was. I knew that was going to happen. Everybody who paid attention is realistic with themselves. With the Redskins, they know that was going to happen. So that I'm not even going to count that as all. Their defense still sucks. New Orleans. You just have to have somebody to exploit it, and if somebody can exploit it, it's Cam. Even though I think Cam is a horrible quarterback, I think he's a great football player, which is the biggest compliment I can give you as a football guy. So I'm not, and they got the boy Christian McCaffrey. He's finally got his act together. They got North Turner calling plays for them. I think they can challenge New Orleans. I think Atlanta's done. They quit. They quit last week.
Yeah.
And Tampa. I mean, they got the crafty throwing for them. The crafty vagina feeler throwing for them.
So that's the AFC North, NFC East. That's up for grabs.
Up for grabs.
Okay.
How about Chicago? By the way?
You have Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago is going to win that division.
You think so?
I think they're going to win that division. I don't think
Over Minnesota?
Over Minnesota. I just see that defense playing a big role in helping them win that division. Trubisky will probably do just enough to help them on the offensive side of the ball. Okay. Here's the thing at the end of the day. Getting back to my Giants. This is a must-win tonight in Philly. They don't win tonight, it's over. 1-5, over. It's not over yet because they're only a game and a half out of first due to the poor play of every team in the East right now.
Horrible division.
But if they lose tonight, it's over.
So what do you think is going to happen?
After tonight, you may see some moves.
No, what do you think is going to happen tonight?
Oh, tonight's game?
Yeah.
If the Giants are going to win, they're going to have to put up at least 27 points. And you're going to have to hold Philly to at least 20.
Are they going to win?
Are they going to win? I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Philly's going to handle them. That's a rivalry. Philly knows they're in trouble right now. Part of that Super Bowl hangover, curse, whatever you want to call it. They're going to come out fire right now. The one thing that's in the Giants' favor is Jay Adai, unfortunately, tore his ACL. So that's going to impact their running game greatly. Knowing that, you don't have to load the box. You can play a lot of zone, you can play a lot of cover 2, and make sure that you keep Carson Wentz contained. Otherwise, he's going to take off on you.
I got the Giants tonight, baby. I got the Giants tonight.
The Redskins fans saying the Giants tonight.
Yeah, and I hate the Giants more than anything.
Yes, he does.
I got the Giants winning tonight. I got them coming together. I got their leader, Eli, taking his troops out and getting it done. And
they're supposed to get Olivier Burnham back, so maybe that'll help them on the pass rush finally.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Because between him and the cat that they drafted from
Georgia.
Georgia. What is that, Goodson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. That's not his name. I forget his name.
Yeah, for another time. They can pose a threat to Carson Wentz, but you gotta keep him contained. Till next time, he's Dave.
He's Dave.
This is the Sports Rant.